Hello all, welcome to this video with ElementsCAD for Vectorworks. I want to show you in this video how we can define roofs and the beams etc. for Vectorworks with ElementsCAD. First I have here a menu bar where I can go to the help, and within the info I can choose the language. I change the layer and go to an empty layer, and I insert beam with the beam tool, and I can already define here a width of the beam and go to the front view. And now I see here in the info palette the infos of the beam. Here we have the basic dimension with the length, width and height of the beam. Here I have the pitch of the roof with 25 or 40 degrees, however I like. And here I can define the top and the bottom of the beam. Means in top plane I see here the direction through a point, so I can see where's the top and the bottom of the beam. Here I can define, for example, a vertical or horizontal or rectangular, and these are static values, and by degrees I can define, for example, 25 degrees. And the second value is the option to make a shift. Means I can cut the beam in two directions. I can undo everything, and I have again my beam, and now I want to mirror the beam. Now I have a second beam, and I see now that there is an overlapping I can do. That means I activate the beam and go here to the info palette, and here I have a beam intersection, and I can make here a half lap, and now I see that there is an overlapping created. We have the same or similar options when I go back to the front view at the bottom section. Here I have as well at the bottom the option to define values for the cutting and the shift of the bottom zone. So we go ahead, and now I have the option to activate the beam, and now I can place a connector. This is a very helpful feature because I can go, for example, to the right side at the middle, and now I created a connector. What's a connector? This connector is already linked with the beam through an ID. We see here a number, and this number is in the end the number of the beam, so there is already a link. I can activate this connector, go to the menu bar, and I go to convert, create extrude connector beam, and now I want to extrude the connector. Now I have two connector objects, because one connector object is for the horizontal and one for the vertical beam that was created. And now I can, for example, define a mortise tenon connection. I refresh here the beam, and now I go back to the connectors, and I can make a radius, and here we go. and consider everything we draw here we will export to Cambium, for example, from Hundegger. But apart from mortise tenon, I can make here as well drillings. When I go to drillings, I have the option to make offsets and increase the number of the drillings. Here I can define the distance. And as well I can make here, for example, 2 rows with as well, let's say 40 millimeters, and I can make as well an offset. Furthermore, we have here the option to make an angle or a rotation for the drillings. I go to a new design layer, insert again a new beam, and let's see which options we have here in the tool palette. Here I can use a beam position tool. That means I have the option to make multiple beams. With each click I can define a beam. Means when I activate a beam I can make a click and another click and a double click, and everywhere where I make a click a beam will be drawn. Oh, sorry, I used the wrong tool. Of course we need the position tool, and go back here and we can see now that for each click a beam is designed. When I activate all the beams, of course I can mirror the beams, and I can make a cut off. Means, for example, I want to make a line, so I can create here a line and they are cut it automatically. Furthermore, I can define an area where I want to cut such beams. So I'm here absolutely flexible with this tool in order to cut all the beams. Okay. I go back and delete all these beams, and let's make an example. So how can I define, for example, a profile? Well, in this case I go to my polyline tool. I have here the automatic working plane, and I want to make here an arc with specific radius, and oh, this is the wrong option. Let's make this one. Change the mode and make here a corner. And now I can make with this contour, with convert, create a connector. And now I just have to check the depth of the beam here, and I make the connector assigned with the beam, and I want a depth with 200 millimeters. As we see here, now there is already generated a cutting, and I can go to the info palette, go to the connector mode, and I can here fade out the respective contour. Let's make a correction. I want to fade it in again, and here we have an error, but I think this is simply based that we have to actualize. Yes, here we go. Whenever we need the counterpart of the object, I can go to the beam in the info palette, and here I can go to show or hide the contour. So every time I want to change the contour, I just have to go there and show the contour, and now I can edit the path wherever I like to change the profile again. I can do this with the options from Vectorworks, and here we see now I can exit the path, and I just have to actualize, and now I get the new actualized profile. Okay, let's make a new beam, and we check further options. Here we can of course change the length. Let's make 2 meters, and the width is 100 millimeter. This is okay, and we see now that the bottom we want to have by degrees, and we make there 70 degrees, or let's make 40 degrees. And now we want to place a further connector, and here we make the right side in the middle, and now we got a connector, and we do as we have seen with the menu command convert, and we extrude the connector, and we activate the connectors, and we want to make mortise tenon. We want a radius with 20 millimeters, and we actualize this beam, and now we want to make an export. We go to import export, export beam. Let's make a beam 2 meters. Give them a name. And now what happens now, this object is now analyzed through our, it's normally opened directly and automatically from ElementsCAM. So you don't see the process, but I stopped it so you can see when we have here the beam, it will be converted automatically. And here we have in the options the parameter to generate DVX files. We have a lot of interfaces here we can make for each machine. For woodworking machines, we have post-processors for all common machines, but now we want to see the result in Cambium, and I go to import. Let's make beam 2 meters. Here we see that automatically from each text file that is exported from Vectorworks, automatically in the background a folder with the same name is created, and within this folder we see all the files we want to generate. Go to open here. I overwrite this item, and now I want to see what was coming here, and we see now here the saw cuts and here the mortise. So thanks for taking time, and if you enjoyed this video, I look forward to get a like from you on the bottom. Thanks very much. Bye bye.